How's it going? We're the hard charging Spartans, and we are made up of Caroline, Conrad, Kaylee, Isabella, Emily, and myself, Miles. Throughout this presentation, we'll state our problem that we have chosen and how we choose to fix it. We will go into why this problem is occurring and support that with facts. Then phrase our solution and how we will plan on implementing this into our society. Thank you, and Emily will take it from here.
Okay, so our problem is that living in California, one thing that we have noticed is that compared to other states in the US, California residents and citizens are working too much in general so they can maintain their basic survival standards of life. And this is leaving them with no leisure time, which means that they are having no time to rest mentally and emotionally so that they can be fully charged and work at a higher rate the following day. The causes of this problem is that we are currently living in a trickle-down economy, which means that the state government has placed higher taxes on corporations and businesses, which has led to an increase in product prices. This means that citizens of California are having to work too many hours just so they can maintain and fulfill and afford their basic survival standards of life. And now Caroline and Kaylee will take it from here.
So when it comes to our decision-making method that we used, we decided to choose consensus. So with consensus, all group members participated in the crafting of our decision, and we all agreed to take it from there and roll with that decision. We like this method because it gave each of us our own voice and the freedom to choose what we wanted to do. Using this method forced us to develop a lot of trust, communication, and time into each other and into our work on the assignments, which ended up making our working together very successful. Another thing that made us successful was the fact that we all had a say in our decision, and that led to us being happy, and happy group members produces success. Caroline's going to tell you about our problem-solving strategy.
So for our problem-solving strategy, we didn't opt for a fancy or high-tech strategy. Instead, we went with brainstorming, and we were able to do this through our group chat that we actually set up at the beginning of this course when we first became group members. And we found several benefits of working together through a group chat. One of them being able to easily brainstorm ideas. It also really enhanced the accessibility for everyone because we could talk to our whole group just with our smartphones, and it was a very convenient way to communicate. It also provides real-time communication, which is very helpful and can be difficult to do with us all in different locations. It also kept a record of all of our conversations, all of our decisions, all the points that anyone has made, which has made it really easy to go back to and refer to, and to just double check things. It has also been less disruptive because we are not calling each other constantly or having to make meetings for in the middle of the day. We can just text and respond whenever it is helpful for us. And other than the fact that it is so simple to set up and use, it has really boosted our productivity and has given us a good head start on a lot of the projects. Thank you.
So there were many factors we had to take into account when choosing the best solution. What we first looked at was the average housing costs. So the national average housing cost is $1,488. In California, that average jumps up to $2,166. Next, we looked at average utilities costs. The California average is $401, whereas the New York average is $378. Next, we looked at some of the happiest countries in the world: Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, and saw that they all had lower averages of hours worked per week. In Denmark, it's about 33 hours per week. Whereas in California, it shoots up to 40 hours per week. Next, we looked at the cost of minimum wage. In California, it's about $13 or $14 per hour. The calculated living wage for an adult in California is about $18. And often people work more than one minimum wage job at a time. And when someone has a child, it shoots up to around $40 for the average living wage. So taking all this into account, we thought of 3 different solutions. The first solution was raising minimum wage. We thought, okay, it's too low, let's just raise it so people can afford their basic needs. The problem here was we did not know how to realistically implement this solution. It seemed difficult because we had no way of convincing the government or companies to raise the minimum wage. So we came up with a second solution: more government spending. We thought if the government spent more on healthcare, education, childcare, things like that, then workers wouldn't have to earn as much in order to fulfill their basic needs. And again, we were hit with this issue that we did not know how to realistically do that. So finally, we came to the best solution, which was to lower corporate taxes in California. This way, there's incentive given to each party involved. So in exchange for lowering corporate taxes, minimum wage for employees would also be raised. So this way, the unemployment claims will drop, and the stock market will also be positively affected. And that's how we'll know that the solution is effective. And the overall result is that workers would be able to fulfill their basic needs. And they would also be financially stable. Next is Conrad.
Thank you, Isabella. So the way we're going to set our plan in motion is that we are going to get the state officials and CEOs of major corporations into one room, and they're going to hash things out where the politicians are going to be fighting for higher wages at the bottom of the barrel, being as if they care for the citizens of the state of California, while businesses are fighting to be able to keep their livelihoods. And so these are a fair debate between the two. However, there needs to be a consensus between them, an agreement. And so the politicians are going to offer a 15% tax break in exchange for higher wages at the bottom of the barrel. What this will do is put more money into the hardworking citizens of California in their pockets, as well as being able to spend more money on their goods. This puts more money in the corporation's pockets. The reduction in taxes also puts more money in the corporation pockets. So everybody wins. If corporations are not compliant with this or uncooperative, what will happen is they will be taxed even further. And so this makes it not feasible for them to not cooperate with making the livelihoods of the American people better. Secondly, what we are proposing is to get monopoly companies in a separate negotiation, where this is going to be more of a bulldog kind of play from the politicians, where they are going to make them limit their prices, because there is a huge ethical issue where monopoly companies such as telecommunication companies, energy companies, water companies like Verizon, AT&T, things like that, they are basing their prices solely on the fact that nobody will be able to go to another company. And so that's the ethical issue behind that. And that is why they're going to limit the prices of these monopoly companies. This reduction in price goes straight to the bottom of the barrel of the people paying for these basic things. Everybody needs these things. And so if these monopoly companies are not compliant, then they will just be taxed further. And these taxes would go straight to the negotiations of the corporations to give them a higher tax break and lower the higher the wage of the people at the bottom of the barrel there. And the way we're going to know that this is effective is that we will see unemployment drop, unemployment claims drop, and the stock market will increase and get better. So in conclusion, the people of California are wise, and these people know how life is meant to be lived and live doing the things that they love. People of California are tired of working to have the funds to do the things that they love, but not having the time to do those things. This is a vicious cycle. It needs to end, and it's going to end here with the hard charging Spartans.